So it's been a day since this has been sitting here soaking. I put power tune on this too to try and get some of that varnish off. So let's see what it does. Look at that. Takes it right off. I put the rocker shaft in here too with that power tune on it overnight. And yeah, I guess I don't need to put another coat on it. It just totally cleans right off. I'll finish doing this with the brush, but I'll show you right now just from that quick look at that. Whoops, I don't want bolts to fall out. But I can just go around and finish cleaning that in the parts washer here. And we'll compare it to the one I haven't cleaned yet when I'm done. Now you can see the difference. That's a little surface rust on the washer there. That's not varnish or anything. But this was the part that was under the baffle. And I had that soaking over here in the fluid. And I'm going to spray that with the engine tuner too, because a lot of that stuff will come off with it. I'm going to spray this, and then when I get that out with this, I'm going to put this back in its correct valve cover. Clean that up and put it back in its correct valve cover. And clean these up, go with that, the bolts. So everything will be in its correct valve cover. These are the intake manifold bolts and the valve cover bolts. And little wire clips for the left side of the engine. And this is for the right side of the engine. But you can totally, I hope the difference shows up there. Big difference. So I'm gonna give this one a brush off in the parts washer and then soak it. This one's going in the valve cover. So anyway, yeah, it's looking good, really cleaning up nice. Well, whether this will show up or not remains to be seen, but I'm going to try and clean the air cleaner. Probably stop recording once the air compressor kicks on. Well, the air compressor is running now, but I just want to show you how quick it cleans up. Hopefully you can see this. So do you suppose that's some type of date code stamping on the air cleaner? Maybe April 66, like everything else dated on the car. Well, there we go. I gave it a shot of primer and let that dry a couple days, and I'll get a nice day where I get some time. I'll shoot some paint on it. I bead blasted this too, and there was no point in showing this while I was doing it, but it's kind of beat up around here, so I'll paint it and put it back on, but I'll keep my eye out for a little better lid. I'll let this soak overnight. Now I'm going to give this a quick cleaning. I soaked this in the parts washer fluid. And I think this will be pretty clean when I'm done. And I sprayed the rocker shaft with the power tune. I got to get the air conditioning unit off the car next. I'm trading it for some parts, so that's going to be the next step after I just clean this up. My parts are supposed to be here for the engine tomorrow, hopefully. Put that back in the fluid there. This is cleaning up really nice. I'll just show you a quick, I mean, you're not going to want to watch me clean this all up, but you can see what it looks like now. Looks pretty darn good. Well, that looks a little different. Got the AC out. This is the pull knob for the floor vent over here. I put the ignition switch back in too. I just why not put the correct lock cylinder in and just put it back in for now. I'm eventually going to take all this apart so I can clean it and replace the dash pad, but I just put it in just to get it out of the way. But the interior, sorry the light's bad in here because the top's up and there's the back windows painted over, but it looks pretty good. So this is about it. The two brackets, some bolts, the fan, a little bit of wiring connectors here, and this is the, when I talk about a TXV or a thermal expansion valve, oh, that's the drain too, but that's what would adjust the temperature and keep that evaporator at about 34 or 35 degrees. This little nut went in there for one of those bolts, so I take it out so it doesn't get lost. But this capillary tube would adjust the orifice in there to keep it at that temperature so the evaporator wouldn't freeze. In 70, I don't remember, 73, 72, the Vega, they wanted to put AC on the Vega, and the TXV system was too big, and the compressor always runs with TXV, so you know, there's a lot of drain on the engine. So Vega, they came up with the cycling clutch system, which is on everything now, and that keeps the evaporator between, I don't know, 35 and 42 degrees. So they don't, the new systems don't cool as well as these old TXV systems. So anyway, I'm going to trade the air conditioner for some parts, so I got to get this puppy boxed up and ready to ship. Let's see if this thing works. Just kind of cobbled it to a battery. It actually blows pretty good air out the vents. Nice quiet motor. That's high, medium, low. It works on all the speeds. All right, the relay's there. This is the power, 12 volts key on power. This is to engage the compressor clutch. That was cut like that when I got the car, and then I just grounded the chassis to, or put a ground wire to that screw right there, and it works. Well, it blows air. Doesn't cool because there's no compressor or condenser or anything, you know, it's not charged, but the fan blows and it seems to work okay. So as you can see, I got sick of looking at the adhesive stuck all over the glass and the trim, so I cleaned all that off. It looks pretty good. Air conditioner obviously out. I did a little cleaning in the inside of the windshield and wiped the dash off. Wipe the steering wheel and column off, just to make it look a little better. So it looks a little better cleaned up. You can see the pits in the horn ring where I need to replace that. I cleaned some of the surface rust off the shift lever and turn signal stock just to make it look a little nicer. I turned the speedometer gear and the speedometer works. The parking brake cable I checked is free from the pedal to the cross member, and I cleaned this up really nice too. So it's as clean as it's going to get. It's going to be fine. So I just wanted to do a little of the odds and ends. Everything needs to be done on the car eventually, so sometimes I just putz with little odds and ends like I did today, and I'm supposed to get the engine kit tomorrow or the next day. So when it comes, I'll do a video on the kit. I don't know when I'm going to start assembling the engine. I still got to clean it and hone the cylinders and polish the crank. I might work on that a little bit tomorrow if I have time. So, you know, it just is a lot of work. A lot of little things need to be done, and that was one of them, that mess across there. Just put it in there for now. I just thought I'd add this to the video. I hooked the battery up to see if it works. We got a alternator, a cold oil. I grounded the sending units out for the oil and the cold. And when you turn it to start, the hot light illuminates. Sounds like the heater fan needs lubricating, but it works. I'm not going to try the wipers. And the parking lights work. We got one. Two tail lights illuminated. License plate pocket light illuminated. This doesn't have side marker lights. 66, I think 67 they had them, but the front lights work. And I'll turn on the four-way flashers. I'm not going to try the wipers or anything more. You know, the heater fan, I don't want to burn out the resistor, so I'm not going to run it. I couldn't get the reverse lights to come on, but I might not have just had it in reverse properly. But a lot of things work on the car, and I can't try the top because the hood's on the top, as I said. Turn the hazards off. The instrument panel lights don't work because there was a gum wrapper in the fuse box for it, so I took it out, and I'll check that out. But oh, and one other thing too, as long as we're turn the so things seem to pretty much all work. Clock doesn't, well, I might not have enough wires hooked up to run the clock, but yeah, there's no go on the clock. And the accessory position works. I turned on the radio, but I don't know, the speaker might be blown. It makes a little noise. I'll check that out.
Now we know every day you come home, you want to relax, maybe hang out with your family, or maybe not. Maybe just need your daughter to stop talking for, I don't know, 5 minutes. Either way, I have what you need. So sit back, put your feet up on the coffee table. Don't worry, she's not looking. Don't be the last man to watch Last Man Standing. Boy.
So the radio works. How awesome is that? One last thing too, the headlights work. Now I can't put the high beams on because the dimmer switch is seized up. It's a big button down here on the floor. Yeah, the lights pour in here, I know. But I just wanted to show some things. I just ran the ground, light duty ground wire over to the body ground. Hooked the positive up to the starter solenoid. And I should turn the key into start and see if that clicks. Then I grounded the cold terminal of the temperature sending unit, the oil pressure switch for the oil sending unit. That's for the coil, so I don't want to ground that. That'll short things out. So just, you know, when you turn it to crank, that tests the hot light, so I didn't need to ground that, but just kind of showing you. And again, I'm not going to run that because I don't want to wreck it. I want to take the cowl all apart. You know, this stuff might be froze up or stiff or something, and I don't want to break any gears or burn the motor out or anything, so I'm not even going to try the wipers. And I had to disconnect the horns because they, as soon as I hooked the battery up, they would blow. And this is, you can see, this is kind of needs some attention, so we'll get that all fixed up in the future too. But I know the heater blower works, needs a little lubricating, and I don't want to, like I say, run it with that resistor without the air blowing on it. And yeah, so it's really nice that most everything works on the car. I don't know if this will show up or not, but the fuel gauge does work too. It actually, turn the key on and the gauge comes up just above the empty mark, and when you turn the key off it drops back down. So it looks like we have a working fuel gauge somewhat too. Anyway, it's responding on the dash. If you like my video, hit the like button. If you want to see this 1966 Ford convertible restored, subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching.